Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. We're doing Clues by Sam again. It is a tricky one today, and if you don't know what Clues by Sam is, it's a daily logic puzzle game where you have 20 people who may be criminals or innocents, and you gotta figure out what each person is by using the clues that they give you. You gotta do no guessing, and the puzzle changes in difficulty every single day, so it gets harder along the week. If you want to try the game before watching me play, you can check the link in the description, or if you just want to watch, then we can start right away. We had an almost Friday the 13th, but it's not. It's Wednesday. It's Tuesday. It's Thursday. Let's start. Isaac tells us that Emma and him have two innocent neighbors in common. They have two neighbors in common total, so both of them have to be innocent. And now we have Carl and Joyce. Carl tells us that all innocents above Vera are connected. Okay, Vera has 4 people above her. So we know that if there are any innocents among those 4 people, all of them are connected. And Joyce tells us that Laura has 2 innocent neighbors on the edges. Okay, Laura has 3 neighbors on the edges. And those 3 are above Vera. We know that 2 of them are innocent, and that tells us that either Katie and Olivia are innocent or Katie and Gary, because those 2 innocents have to be connected. So we know for sure that Katie is an innocent. And now we know that Gary and Olivia are a one or the other. And we also know that Aaron may be an innocent if Gary is an innocent, but he may be a criminal if Gary is a criminal. So let's keep that in mind. Katie now tells us there are exactly 3 innocents below Aaron. We gotta remind ourselves that innocence above Vera being connected doesn't mean that if she is an innocent, she has to be connected to the other innocents. So even if Gary is an innocent and Olivia is a criminal, Vera could be an innocent as well, because she doesn't need to be connected to the other innocents. So actually, she must be an innocent because there's 2 here and there must be 3 total. So Vera now tells us that column D is the only column with exactly 3 innocents. Column D. Okay, so all we know is that column A has 3 innocents already for sure. Vera, Katie, and someone who's either going to be Olivia or Gary, and that's 3. But column A doesn't have 3 innocents. So Aaron has to be an innocent as well. And now we know that Gary is an innocent because he is above Vera, and Katie and Aaron are both innocents and they have to be connected because they are above Vera. So Gary is an innocent and Olivia is a criminal. And now we don't need the clue about Laura or Carl's clue. What else? I'm gonna leave Vera's clue here because it tells us that other columns have either less or more than 3 innocents. Now, Aaron tells us that Hilda and Sarah have only 1 innocent neighbor in common. Hilda and Sarah have 2 innocent neighbors, have 2 neighbors in common, actually. But only one of them is innocent. The other one's gonna be a criminal. Gary also tells us that Xavier has more innocent neighbors than Aaron. We don't know about Aaron's total or Xavier. Xavier has 5 neighbors total. If he has to have more innocent neighbors than Aaron, Aaron could have at most 3 innocent neighbors, so Xavier would have to have at least 4 in that scenario, but we still don't know. And Olivia tells us that an odd number of innocents in row 3 neighbor Isaac. Row 3 is the one with Laura and Martin. Isaac has 3 neighbors in row 3. And one of them is for sure going to be an innocent, and the other one's for sure going to be a criminal among Laura and Martin. So we need an odd number of innocents, which means that if Noah were an innocent, we would have an even number. So Noah has to be a criminal. And now Noah tells us that only one of the 4 innocents neighboring Sarah is in column D. So there will be an innocent here and a criminal here in column D. And now we have 2 innocents, Joyce and someone down here. But column D has 3 innocents, so Emma has to be the 3rd one. And let's change the color of these, just for safe measure. Now Emma tells us that exactly 2 of the 5 innocents neighboring Isaac are in column C. So Isaac has to have another innocent neighbor in column C. One of them is Carl. So Martin has to be an innocent, and because of that, Laura has to be a criminal. And now we also know that there's gonna be 1 innocent here and 1 criminal here, because Isaac's innocent neighbors have to total 5. Right? And now we also know that there has to be at least 1 more innocent down here in column C, because column C can't have 3 innocents. It can have 4 or 5. So let's keep looking. We don't need this clue anymore. Oh, we know that Xavier has more innocent neighbors than Aaron, and we know the total for Aaron now, which is 2. It's gonna be Gary and someone here. So Xavier has to have at least 3. One of them is here, Tom or Zara. There has to be 2 more in here. Right? But how do we know? Oh, we know that it's one or the other here, because column B can't have, let's switch that color. Column B can't have 3 innocents. So we can't have both Bob and Will being innocents, because there's going to be 1 innocent here, and that will make column B have 3 innocents. So Sarah is for sure an innocent. And one of these guys is as well. What else do we know? What else do we know? Do you know anything about Xavier? Column D is the only column with exactly 3 innocents. Yeah. 2 of the 5 innocents neighboring Isaac are in column C. Okay. 5th one's gonna be here. 4 innocents neighboring Sarah. Oh, that's it. Sarah has 1 innocent neighbor here, Martin, and she's gonna have 2 more here, either Rob or Will, so that's 2, and either Tom or Zara, so that's 3. The only person who could be the 4th one is Xavier, so Xavier is also an innocent. And now Xavier tells us that Gary and Tom have an equal number of innocent neighbors. Well, we know that Gary is gonna have 1, 2, and 3 innocent neighbors, counting Betty or Hilda. Who else? Tom has to have the same number. So Tom has 3 here, which means that Zara is a criminal. And because Zara is a criminal, Tom is an innocent. Sarah now tells us that Xavier and Hilda have an equal number of criminal neighbors. Okay, so Xavier is gonna have 2 criminal neighbors, Zara and someone here. So Hilda has to have 2, and so far she only has Laura, so Betty has to be a criminal as well, and because of Betty, Hilda is an innocent. And now Hilda tells us that 2 farmers have an innocent directly to the right of them. Well, Tom is a farmer who doesn't have anyone to his right. Olivia is a farmer who has someone to their right, and they could be an innocent, and Rob's a farmer who has an innocent to their right. But we know for sure that since there's no other farmers, scan, Rob has to be an innocent, and Will has to be a criminal. That was it. I feel like the tricky ones are the easiest. But that was Clue by Sam in less than 9 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did play, let me know how it went for you, because I love to talk about it. And if you want to watch more Clues by Sam, I'm here every day doing these just for practice, and I do play some other games on my channel. I do live stream every week, so join us if you want to see that, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.